All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. It's now 2 minutes past 7 a.m. Joining us, my name is Victor Law, and this is Good Morning Kenya on KBC Channel 1. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, being a Monday, it's Eye on Politics. Let's take a look at what really happened over the weekend and what we should be expecting to happen this week and, of course, weeks ahead. You know, these are very crucial time for Kenya as we'll be heading to the election in the next 12 months, so to speak. Okay, so the month of July is almost coming to an end, and once we clock the month of August, is all systems go. Very good. One thing that stood out over the weekend was the twin attacks, the Goon attacks that happened in Nyahururu, the Linda Mwananchi group being attacked, and of course, even over the weekend, another one also happened. You know, the rival camps attacking each other in Olkalau. Just too much to handle in a matter of days. So while that was also happening, Kisumu also witnessed something that was not actually expected. The attack to a church where some of the politicians were attending a church service is also something that was completely unprecedented. And that is going to be forming part of our discussion. The Goons headache, how is it going to be that we are going to live with that kind of mentality, and for how long? We have got government agencies mandated to protect us and to make sure that that is put to a zero level, if not wiped out completely. So that's going to be our discussion today, the Goons headache. I'm joined by my namesake, gentleman Onyangolo, who is the presidential aspirant, party leader, Freedom and Opportunity Party, that is FOP. He's also a former speaker of the County Assembly of Kisumu. Onyangolo, Mheshimiwa, karibu sana.
Asante.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Next to him is Daniel Juma Mondi, who is the Africa Regional Representative, Global Peace Foundation. He's a man who, when it comes to peace, that is his forte. And let's talk about that in all terms and reasons. Daniel, karibu.
Thank you for having me, Victor, and good morning, Kenya.
Good morning to you too as well. We are still waiting for Gibson Gesori, who's an advocate of the High Court, and Francis Mongangi, Deputy Governor of Machakos. So let's get the ball rolling. On the front page of the Standard, that is forming our part of discussion. The Standard says madness of a nation. There you go. Madness of a nation. Look at that picture. Okay, look at that picture. That is exactly what happened in Kisumu. A group of armed, I don't know whether to call them youth or not, but okay. Armed with bows, arrows, some of them had pangas, machetes if you like, some of them had rungus and all manner of crude weapons yesterday. And this is not AI. This is not AI. This happened. And down there's also another vehicle which was destroyed in Nyahururu. The driver of Governor Irungu Kangata, who was shot in the chest with a rubber bullet. And on the other side, just photos of leaders scampering for safety during the Linda Mwananchi meeting in Nyahururu. That is their madness of a nation. The Standard says that the country is teetering on the edge, or teetering as edges goons take over the streets. Political violence is becoming the new normal, with armed gangs attacking opposition leaders and disrupting their meetings. Those charged with safeguarding the nation's security, Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen and CPS Raymond Omolo, stand accused by critics of allowing politics to overshadow their constitutional duty to protect life and property. President William Ruto has remained conspicuously silent. Unless decisive action is taken, the country risks a complete breakdown of law and order. It's as simple as that. That is our discussion this morning. I don't know what you have on the front page of the Star.
Thank you. With the Star, we have, as the headline, we have why New Sacco Bill has raised great interest. Wave of panic swept through Kenya's financial bedrock, as you can see. But Next to it, as in the standard, we have Violence Rocks Linda Mwananchi event in Kisumu. And under it there, you can see political chaos, armed young men charged towards ACK St. Stephen's Cathedral in Kisumu, where Linda Mwananchi leaders were attending a service yesterday. An injured man is assisted by Good Samaritans after he was attacked by goons. Other than that, we have Ruto to Kalonzo. I won't abandon Ukambani, even if you can't join me.
Yes, that is politics.
That's
okay.
Politics.
I won't abandon Ukambani, even if you don't join me. Okay. Daniel, what do you have on the front page of the Daily Nation?
Yeah, the front page of the Daily Nation, we have moment of truth for Uhuru Ruto. 7 trillion shillings loan. So the Kenya Kwanza government has launched a fresh bid to halt proceedings in the landmark constitutional case challenging the legality of 6.95 trillion in public debt, with Treasury's CS John Buddy and AG Dorcas Oduo filing fresh applications to stop the hearing scheduled for October. We also have there Linda Mwananchi leaders condemn attacks in Nyahururu and Nyeri. And yesterday also we saw our girls, you know, the Kenya under-17 girls.
Yes. We
defeated South Africa to qualify for FIFA World Cup. It's a good thing, you know, for our girls. And then, of course, other news we're saying recruiter ordered to pay woman 7 million shillings for horror jobs in Myanmar. Then regarding Utumishi girls, some lobbies want the girls' dormitories to be barred from opening. So those are the main headlines in the nation today.
Very good. So based on what you've had, let's just come back to the front page of the Standard. Basically, that is our discussion today. Mheshimiwa Onyango, you are the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kisumu, and you know what is happening, and you have the story and the history of Kisumu very well, perhaps better than us, you and Daniel and I here. When you saw this, what really ran through your mind? I mean, this is a county that you led religiously.
Yes. I didn't just become the Speaker of Kisumu County Assembly. Perhaps to our viewers, I was born, brought up, lived in Kisumu much of my life. It is like the city that I've always known.
That is home?
That is home. Actually, my home is in Kisumu, within the city. And when I look at this picture here...
Go ahead.
I can tell you, we have had bouts of violence in Kisumu town from time to time, which come out of political demonstrations, more often than not for worthy causes. But to see men and women brazenly and in public holding arrows, bows, pangas, machetes, this is a new law. And the unfortunate thing is that from this photograph alone, I can identify the faces. And I can tell you who they are working for. And I can tell you that these are paid goons. It is unfortunate. The only unfortunate thing, for those of us who are able to watch it maybe in the social media platforms, the only unfortunate thing that is different from what we have had in other places is that the police who are there. That we are not having cases of these men being apprehended, being arrested, or investigations being carried out. And worse, that this thing happened at daytime. I am not seeing men covering their faces, even with masks, or having, you call it backlavas. This tells you that we have reached a level where violence has become brazen. Men can walk in daylight with pangas, machetes in Kenya. In fact, in the third largest city of our nation, this calls for serious introspection, for serious questions from the government agencies entrusted with the duty to maintain peace and order. It calls for very serious questions to be answered by those who we elected. The only thing I can tell them as a resident of Kisumu, what goes round comes round.
Okay.
The creators of this will soon be ready to handle the bite.
Daniel, you know, what that's really, I mean, for the last couple of months, we've been talking about goons. I think we've discussed the matter of goons on this set. But when you talk about goons, why is it becoming so normal right now to talk about goons and we just go to bed as if there's nothing to worry about? I mean, look at what really happened yesterday. The photos on the local dailies is just something completely not acceptable, to say the least.
I think we're normalizing this concept of goons, and it's very unfortunate that we just keep talking about it and doing, nothing really about the issue. As I've always said, goons and politicians are basically bedfellows. They go together. For you to succeed in Kenyan politics, you need people who will be, making noise for you, who will be heckling your rivals, and who will be, basically politicians use these people to popularize themselves. And so this is a given. Everyone who is in politics knows this. I remember when I was running for Ugenya MP in 2019, my rivals would treat the crowd. They call it treating the crowd. In Luo, it's called cheer the pub, treating the crowd, so that when I come, when I'm speaking, then I'm heckled so that I'm not, nobody hears what I'm saying. So this is something that politicians do, whether in or outside government. But mine as a peacemaker is just to say that this should not be allowed to go on. You have seen what is going on in South Africa, where the government of Cyril Ramaphosa has completely abdicated his duty to vigilantes in South Africa, who are now given themselves the duty of enforcing immigration laws. So right now in South Africa, Ramaphosa and his government, it is the goons in South Africa, I call them goons, who are actually chasing people out of there, chasing foreign, apparently. In Kenya, if we are not careful, there's coming a time when these goons will be leading the narrative, where the politicians, the leaders will not talk. The goons will be saying, this is what we want. And so, as a peacemaker, mine is to urge, all the players within government, the opposition, that this should not be allowed to go on. Let us stop this, let us nip this in the bud, and I want to call upon organizations who are charged with this, especially the National Cohesion Integration Commission, IPOA, the National Police Service, which is now independent. They should not be seeing young boys walking with machetes and walking with arrows and bows, and not doing anything about it. Whoever caused this, the police should ensure that the streets of Kisumu has been safe. The last few protests, even June 25th, and even the Sabasaba, Kisumu was relatively safe. And the people of Kisumu, of course, they had said that now this time they don't want to be in the street. That is the spirit. But now, yesterday when I saw this, I was wondering where these people have come from. And also the youth of Kisumu, they have not been known to carry bows and arrows. This is the first time I'm seeing bows and arrows, being carried in Kisumu. So I really want to call upon, everyone, involved. Let us take a chill pill and let's do something about this phenomenon before it gets out of hand.
Mheshimiwa Francis Mwangangi, Deputy Governor, Machakos County, asante sana for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. And of course, Gibson Gesori, who's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, is also a political analyst. Karibu wakili.
Thank you.
Before I get into your statement, President William Ruto said that he will Ruto to Kalonzo. That is your boss, party leader. He said that he won't abandon Ukambani even if Kalonzo refuses to join him. That is on the front page. You can ponder on that. So even if he refuses to join him, he won't leave Ukambani.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Mheshimiwa, it seems there is a 48th law of power that is being used. When you look at what's on the front page of the Standard and of course the Daily Nation, it's been all over since Saturday, Sunday, and now we are in Monday. Who is using the 48th laws of power here? And for what reason?
Just for politics. Look at the history of the region where this is being practiced. Look at the appointment of the government there. Is also the same person who is in charge of the security of the country. So it is do or die for some people. What I will just tell them is it could be politics. It could be we must win it under whatever costs, but not at the expense of the country. Nations that have failed, nations that have history of this kind of things, Haiti being part of it, start the way we are doing. Let me say this.
You talk of Haiti. Do you know we rescued Haiti?
Who said we rescued? Who said we rescued? That is very debatable. Now, so what I'm saying,
yes,
we have a country that was more give credit where due, gave out a united country to the then NAC administration under President Kibaki, Raila Odinga and the Kalonzo and everybody else who was in NAC then. Then President Kibaki expanded, and I'm sure my colleagues here will agree with me, freedoms of Kenyans. Then he handed over to President Uhuru Kenyatta. We have not seen this. Let me say this. If government of the day is not supporting this, you will not see this madness. All you need is an independent National Police Service executing their mandate. You will not see this. You are just seeing it simply because at the top is where these things are being organized from. I am not afraid to say the CS Interior, the PS Interior know what is happening. And why am I saying so? When we saw Goons, at first, when we saw the so-called Goons here trying to protect Nairobi alongside our security agents, nobody knows what the government did. After the outcry, that matter fizzled out. We have seen when the top government officials, including the president himself, whenever he is moving around in Nairobi, how people are being robbed during daylight, with people who are also appearing to be in presidential, they are moving the way he is moving. Way both ahead and right behind the convoy of the head of state. I think all we need is the will to do the right thing, adhere to the rule of law, respect our constitution and the rest of Kenyans, and know that I can differ with my friends. All of them here can be people of either the opposition or the government. We debate, but at the end of the day, we say what we want to say and allow Kenyans to make their own decision. So what is happening here is state-backed.
State-backed.
Yes.
Gibson, your area could also face certain level of unrest. A few days ago, one gentleman lost his life, and now the parent yesterday said that they're also looking or seeking for answers. The same thing happened where the Linda Mwananchi group were attacked in Keroka, I think it was in Keumbo or something like that. And the cycle continues.
It's quite unfortunate, Victor, that we're having this, and I would want to join in to what my brother Mwangangi is saying, that if we are not careful, we're going to lose this country. South Africa now is going to be a country which is run by goons, unfortunately, and it's the biggest economy in the African continent. Kenya is the leading economy in this region. If we start going this way, then unfortunately, we're also going to go the same way. You know, our brothers in Nigeria, parts of the country are ungovernable, especially the south and the north. So if we play around with these things, Victor, we are going to be a very a republic which is not going to be recognizable. Violence breaks down the rule of law. You cannot go to court when they are goons, because they can come and even hijack the magistrate.
Yeah.
You see, that is the kind of system we want to allow into our country. It's very important that the government of the day wakes up and reins in on all this chaos. Sometimes it's for political expediency, if I may use the word, it seems convenient for someone to use goons against his opponent, or to drive a narrative, or to achieve some agenda. But at the end of the day, these goons do come back. Somebody else will use them against you. And then the goons get emboldened. You cannot be able to control them when they get out of hand. They become, now we go the way Haiti went. We start going to several other countries which have gone down that road. We have seen the former president of Zimbabwe use goons to avoid an election, and or meet a lot of force even to the opposition candidate Morgan Shangirai when he was alive back in the day. So we don't want to go that way. Kenya is a country which we have come so far. We have shed so much blood that we cannot afford again to start shedding blood for anything political and for anything which is supposed to be agreements or disagreement on principle. So we need to be able to bring back the rule of law. Who can be able to do that? It can only be, unfortunately, the Minister of Interior and the top leadership of the country, who should be able to speak boldly against these things. Let all these goons or the leaders be put to task so that they are taken to court. Let the police stand up and be independent. That is why, that is the information or the vision behind having police as an independent organ. That is the vision why we have even a police oversight body which should be able to check the police excesses. Unfortunately, like what I saw in Nyahururu, I think, I don't know whether the gentleman is alive or how he's doing, but those are things we should not be seeing. What happened in Keumbu is quite unfortunate, and we should be able to rein in on
Absolutely. Let me ask you, Mheshimiwa, how big is this economy? Because it seems that the upsurge of the goon economy is getting to some level. How big is it now? How lucrative?
It's a well-oiled machine.
How lucrative is this economy?
I told you, maybe what I didn't tell you is I was born within the biggest slums of Kisumu.
Yes.
So that when I tell you, in this group, either you are my friend, I grew up with you grew up with my brothers or my sister, someone somehow I know. And I can tell you that on the eve of this, the kind of money being distributed is no joke. We even know who distributes the money, how it was brought. And let me tell you first, I know you want to know how big this economy, the Goonism. It is big, it is massive, it is state-sponsored. But other than that, if we want to bring this thing to an end, when I talk of state-sponsored, I say players or actors within the state must be involved. Because the kind of money, my brother, being distributed, you find a youth carrying a bag of 10 million when people are going to action the next day. If I dare that on the screen, I can tell you I can stand up for it. But let me add to something my two brothers there have said. It is not just important that we wish to end this Goonism, because it will not just end on our wishes. We must first trace where did it start, and we must be truthful to ourselves.
Yes.
Goonism has not started with Ruto. Goonism was the bane of Moi's government, especially under multipartyism when he was threatened with the introduction of multipartyism. If you can still remember the photographs of Njoya being beaten. So whenever the government is threatened, it comes. So the birds have just come home to roost. When you look at South Africa, those of you who may remember the Inkatha Freedom Party, largely based as KwaZulu-Natal, it was brought in to delay the dismantling of apartheid. And it is the Africans who are being used to fight the ANC, and a lot of deaths took place. We thought it ended when apartheid ended. It has reincarnated now and you can see it in the streets.
To push a different agenda right now.
The same goonism that Moi introduced in our country has reincarnated now to push agenda that we could all guess what it is. Same with Haiti, the history of Papa Doc and Baby Doc. It was to preserve the then state of Haiti. Years later, you realize this is an ogre that never dies. So to even think or imagine that by calling on state actors to end this thing, we will achieve something, I would tell fellow citizens, we are daydreaming. There are only one or two ways to end this nonsense. One, elect serious leaders who are committed to end this kind of nonsense. Two, let us be bold as citizens and say, we bring to an end the leadership of the Moi-bred politicians, because that is the only way they know how to hold power.
Yes.
So that we can have a clean start with men who believe in the rule of law, the power of democracy, and who believe in conversing with fellow citizens. So that if I have great ideas, but you bring great ideas, I must bow to great ideas. Barring that, this is going to be a vicious circle that even 50, 60 years may come to haunt our children and grandchildren. And the Kenya as a state as we know it may come to an end through these small jokes we are bringing around. If you can remember when Moi left power, and this thing has come to haunt us now, then you can know that we are just upgrading upscaling how to use Goonism to protect what we decide.
Okay. Let's take a break. And we come back, I still want to ask that question. How big is this economy? Because it seems that it is so thriving that if you see young men, vigilante or organized gang, daring one another, and the police are standing there in broad daylight, then you said somebody can carry 10 million shillings in a bag?
Oh yes. When they are going, this man, if for instance, if they're being taken outside where they are, nobody goes. First you take 5,000 up front. When you come successfully, because things could get thick.
So tumalizane sahi.
Beba tano kwanza. Because unaweza kuchukua na tena you drop. If you finish the mission and you come back, you get another 5,000 shillings. That's 10,000 per person. That is why someone can dare his face.
Hold that thought. Can we take a break?
Thank you.
Daniel, Peace Foundation have a lot of work to do. Okay. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, Honorable Francis Mwangangi, Deputy Governor, Machakos County, on set. Gibson Gesora, Advocate of the High Court and also political analyst, also here. Onyangolo, who's a presidential aspirant party leader, Freedom and Opportunity Party. He says that he hails from Kisumu. He was born and raised there, so he knows these people by their names?
Their kin and their relatives.
Names. Okay. And Daniel Juma Mondi, who is the Africa Regional Representative, Global Peace Foundation. The gentleman talking about what is happening in the country. So I asked a question, how big is this goon economy? Because it's a big headache. Daniel, you can pick it. The Africa Regional Peace Foundation must have been involved in some of the peace negotiations across the continent. What are some of the things that you encounter? A well-oiled organization, or what is it all about?
Yeah, so, I mean, we have been in this political violence,
yes,
historically, is something that is common to Africa, especially as we head towards elections. You just had, during the Moi regime, every election year, we used to have land clashes where people used to die. And these land clashes were basically known to be instigated by politicians at that time. And so it is not new, it is not a surprise that as we enter the next election, we also have these things happening. But let me say, as you talk about the goon economy, I think you're talking about a system where young people are being used, are being ferried, are being bought to disrupt, the political rivals, to cause chaos and to, of course, enhance, popularity of those who are paying them. And this is largely, and this is what we've been saying at the Global Peace Foundation, is that we have a big batch of young people who are idle, unemployed, and available for misuse, and available for purchase, and available for incitement by crooked, I want to underline the word crooked, politicians. My lecturer, political science, Professor Nyunguro, taught me political science. He told me that politicians are not worth dying for, and they're not worth killing for. And I agreed with him. And in this case, I don't want to apportion blame, you know, just to politicians within the ruling administration. You know, all politicians, even yesterday as we watched this, yesterday I watched in church when Bishop Orwenjo was carrying the spears. I think someone said that the person who gave him that spear, you know, is the well-known supporter of one of the governors, you know, in Nyanza. And so, as we see this, I don't want to say that this is caused by politicians within the administration, and also our politics. Our politics usually change, as you know.
Yeah.
Long time ago, and you know, when I did my politics in Uganda, you know, there were days when Raila ODM was in the position, and you do not toe the line of ODM at that time, you would be threatened. You would be, you know, there are people who would, maybe you heard about men in black in those days. And we saw, you know, even leaders within the, you know, the ODM then, those who did not toe the ODM line were basically being harassed. So goonship is not, you know, you can't apportion it to one. So this is something that all politicians use, and mine is to urge the administration, the government, you know, and all stakeholders, let us work to empower our young people, let them have employment, let them have money in their pockets, so that they will not be available for misuse by politicians. This, for me, is the best theory of change that we can be able to use. Yeah. Otherwise, saying that, you know, you want to blame that, or you want to blame, and also the police also, they're already independent. You know, they should be independent, unless they choose not to be independent. This is the disappointment that I have, that we have in this country people who have been given jobs to do. The Constitution has given you a job, and with it you have the security of tenure, and you have the powers that the Constitution gives you. But we have people within the administration, and all the administrators, even from Moi, you know, Kibaki, you know, Uhuru, and even now, basically apologists, who before they take action, they want to call some house in the hill and find, what do I do with this case? What do I do here? You get my point? No, this is not something that we should be doing. If you are a leader, if you are a police officer, I'm looking for we should stay in a country whereby, if I'm a police officer, and let's say he's the CS of in the government, and he has been suspected of maybe paying goons or doing something illegal, as a police officer, I should arrest him and take him to court without receiving phone calls from anywhere.
That sounds easier said than done.
But that is what we need to do, because you know, as you know, power is transient. Power is transient, and so and you know, right now we have, of course, the former CS for Matiang'i. He was very powerful during the Uhuru regime. Right now he's in the position. But during Matiang'i time, you could not even touch, people feared him, right? People feared him, but now he is in the position. So what I'm saying is that if you are in government today and you see something wrong, please do it. Do it. Do not wait. Some of these freedoms are not given to us by government. Freedom, as we usually say at the Global Peace Foundation, is given by God, not by the government. Freedom of speech, freedom of association, you know, freedom to do something right is given by God.
But even
so do not wait to get permission from government or from the current regime to do the right thing.
You know, Mheshimiwa Mwangangi, when you listen to the two gentlemen, it seems that every scenario of every stage of governance has an agenda. So I would call it agenda carried forward. When you talk about Moi's regime, they had the agenda of what happened then. So this one is just an agenda carried forward. When you talk about agenda carried forward and the goon economy, what would you talk about that? Because it seems where we are headed, it should be we should normalize it and say, okay, now there's another agenda right now, so we should just normalize. The only thing is, don't be a culprit of the Goonism.
Okay.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we need to make a decision as a country that we do not want this kind of madness. Secondly, we need to devolve ourselves into developing this country and reducing unemployment. Pick any of today's newspapers and see how many properties across the country that are being auctioned.
Yes.
Meaning our economy is not doing as good as we are being told. Now, nobody should take advantage of that and use the strength of first power, because these boys are being protected by somebody somewhere seated who is supposed to be protecting Kenyans. Number two, this business of carrying an agenda forward, to me, I think, I would say, I don't know what my colleagues will say, but I think when you look at post-2002 elections, there was certainly leadership in the country that focused on the country and its citizens. Currently, I will ask a question, one or two. And the first one is, what happened to Asla Fund? Because we seem to have forgotten about Asla Fund and gotten into Uhuru era program that was geared to helping the youth. Now the Nyota program. Number two, there are promises being made, because we are saying these are unemployed population which are trying to find for something to do.
Yeah.
So my question comes in, how comes this all this violence we are seeing is only affecting one side of the political class, that is the opposition? And you know, when I said we need to be very careful with this Goonism thing, is because at some point Kenyans are paying taxes, and these taxes are supposed to be used by those in power first and foremost to protect life and property. Now, when a section is being protected and there is another one which is not being protected, what happens? The one which is not being protected goes out of their way and look for a means to protect themselves naturally.
Yes.
That is what happens. If Victor, today you decide for sure you have to end my life, I would rather die trying to protect my life than just wait to die just as hopeless as the case might be. So in this case, because the issue was the economy and maybe what, in my view, needs to be done, I think first and foremost we need to do the right thing. We need to observe the rule of law. We need to go back to our constitution. Remember the preamble, we. And we is the people of Kenya. Doesn't matter those at the top. Now, I will tell you for free what is happening. It happened then, it happens that the person, the point man, the key point man of this government is particularly the Luo Nyanza, is now the person who is heading as PS Interior. And that's why you are seeing all this is happening. I can tell you, for free.
Is it so?
Allow.
Is it entirely so, DG? Is it entirely so?
Yeah. Yes, and I will tell you why. Today, if these boys you are seeing here or elsewhere, whether in Nyanza, whether in Kisii, Kiembu, whether it is in Ukambani, whether it is Nairobi, if they are not enjoying state protection, if we do not have what I will call state capture, here is capturing state apparatus, state institutions for private political advancement, I will tell you this will not happen. As we speak, all these groups They will be somewhere now waiting to be processed in a court of law. But because that is not the case, you will, in due course, because Kenyans will make a lot of noise and because we want to appease the international community, you will see the ever speaking Interior PS or CS issuing a statement. We will not condone this, we will deal with this, but the matter ends there. So in this case, the issue of the economy, I think let's not find unemployment as an excuse to advance our hidden agenda, which is politics. This thing is so dangerous, it might threaten the stability of this country ahead of next year's election. And that's why we need to engage one another, ensure our internal security apparatus are well resourced and independent to carry out their mandate, to make sure our country does not have these kind of things. Because when you see them and see the side under which they are operating, definitely you will know, other than the state security, there is public money. Because I don't know whether my colleagues will agree with me, but the kind of monies being carried around weekly, on a weekly basis, from Monday to Monday, by these people, the so-called the state agents, you wonder where is that money when people are, in millions, are sliding back to poverty. Let me tell you, this country, if we don't address this matter, I think we will have no country in due course.
Okay, I'll come back to you. And there are two questions I want to ask you, gentlemen. But before then, Wakili, when you look at that, you know, as a lawyer, and you say goons can actually overrun a court session. Mheshimiwa, here you're also Wakili, and you know what that would also mean. But then look at it this way: the goon economy right now is just 1 year to election. You can you imagine what I'm trying to imagine?
Clearly, Victor, and I will want to start it at constitution without constitutionalism. I think one of the professors, the late Okoth Oganda, did write a paper about that we have constitutions without constitutionalism. Where do I say so? Our constitution is so huge and so has a lot of overarching provisions, but then the practice of constitutionalism is actually dead in the country.
Yes.
Because the reason why I say so, look at the dispensation we are operating under. Are the arms of government, especially the constitutionally independent bodies, working? They are not. Let's start by Parliament. Parliament is long dead. It's long dead. Actually, the people now who are being fought are those members of Parliament who want to stand out.
Yes.
That is one. When they come for the Parliament, as they say, Victor, when they come for you today and you don't speak, they come for someone else next. And so the judiciary most probably will not be able to speak under an era where goons are reigning, because goons will be able to come and capture a court. What can you do? And this goon seems to be so powerful that even the police cannot dare even point a finger at them. The police offers protection to the goons. That is, a friend of mine, I think, was, I mean, we have seen even in the northern Kenya where, even with the advent of Al-Shabaab, people coming and taking over, capturing a government official to the level of, was it a county commissioner or a DC then? And he disappeared for some good time.
Yeah.
So, in that era, do you think a court will come and those cases will be arrested, and then the court will sit and be able to preside over a fair hearing for the Al-Shabaab? Because there is no provision. Everybody will be running from that place. That place will be run by those guys. So this is what I'm talking about, that our constitution needs to speak widely to every corner of the country.
Yeah.
We need to start from the head. The head is in Nairobi. Our parliament needs to be able to, right now we should have summoned the police commissioner, the minister interior, to parliament to ask them to account, because parliament is where checks and balances should be conducted. But if that law starts breaking from that particular end, you cannot expect much from the judiciary. When these two arms of government die, we don't have a constitution. We only have a document, but there's no constitutionalism.
Yeah.
That is where we are headed. When that happens, you will be the last line of your own defense. We will become Afghanistan, we will become any kind of country which is run by. You saw Afghanistan, the Taliban took over. Because, I mean, the known government became so unpopular.
Yeah.
And till the Goons or whatever system which the Taliban, which was known as the system which was supposed to be out of power, took over power. The Americans had to run in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
That is what we're talking about. So we need to be extra careful in us trying to take. We give ourselves the constitution, which is so enabling. This constitution, we need to believe and practice it. In places where, you know, it's quite unfortunate that our constitution was largely crafted from the provisions of the constitution of 1994 for South Africa. But you see where South Africa is headed.
Yeah.
And now Kenya is following the same, because Kenya and South Africa are the bastions of democracy in Africa. Now, where are we headed? We are headed the Somali way. We are headed, if worse comes to worse, we'll be headed the Somali way, we will be headed the DRC way. We will be headed the DRC way. Why am I saying that?
That comparison is painful.
We need to be very careful,
because,
Victor.
Yes.
Victor, we need to be very careful. And as Kenyans, that's what we need to guard ourselves against, so that we don't get there.
Okay. The question I want to ask all of you here is, we are headed to election. 10th of August is the date. But then, what does this really mean to us? Is waiting for that day to exercise her democracy. Start with you, Daniel.
Yeah, but first, even before I go there, I don't want to lose hope in our system.
Yes.
It is not. I will not compare us with Somalia yet. Huh? I think what is happening is just some political bad manners that we have within the system. People who have not learned from history, people who are not seeing what is happening in other countries like South Africa and, you know, in the region. Sudan is now ungovernable.
Somalia, just compare.
So we, I think God is giving us warning. He's giving us a warning that if we don't change our ways now, then there could be a problem. And so we always say that everyone, you know, it is good to learn. It is good to even, in my mother, they say tour is good. It's good to just humiliate yourself, so humble yourself and be able to learn. So right now we have a system, our system of security, our internal security. Internal security is actually so important that in this case, I know this matter is not a one-term, two-term issue. It's not a one-term, two-term issue. It doesn't matter which side of the political divide you are in to know that this is wrong. You get my point? This is wrong wherever, however you look at it. And also, I want to say that, you know, there's also possibility, you know, that even within the opposition, and we have seen in the past where some opposition people, some even confess to abducting themselves. You get my point? So that they could create sympathy, you know, that they were being harassed by government. So when you look at it, also the players, some players within the opposition have the capability of actually, you know, stage managing some of these issues. So, but as I said earlier on, this is wrong. However you look at it, whether you are from the opposition or whether you're from government, the optics are not good. And so for the Wananchi who are waiting to cast their ballots, this is, you know, basically disheartening, and this is going to discourage, you know, turnout. It's going to discourage turnout.
Could this be the ultimate agenda?
Of course. I mean, if you have violence or threats of violence, you know, when you create an atmosphere of violence, and when you create an atmosphere of security, that is violence. You know, so you may not. Whenever there's an atmosphere of say, in any form. And so we want to again call it's not a government issue. Citizens in the village in Kisumu, in the village, and my brother here is he grew up in Kisumu, and he says he knows some of those people. Let us call those people that you know. Call them and ask, who sent you? Who paid you? Why are you doing this? And let's have this conversation. Let's have them. Whoever is doing
do you have their numbers?
I don't care who.
Do you have their numbers? Do you have their numbers?
I them are in government or in the opposition. Let us know that this is wrong. And even if whoever sent them is 5 years, the next 10 years is going to be different. Someone else will be in power, and so you will come back to pay for your inactions and actions during your time.
Paying for your sins. Mheshimiwa Nyangolo, you look at it this way. The question is, 1 year to the election, and he's raised a very good point to scare Wanjiku.
Before I get to that, and which I'm definitely getting into, I would wish to address, we must also try to provide solutions, as my 3 colleagues have been trying to put it. And maybe to remind ourselves that the best constitution without men of virtue and valor breathing life into it is nothing but a historical document. And in that regard, perhaps it is time we revisited how the men and women in charge of these vital documents are hired. The judiciary, the leader of parliament,
yes,
the police commission, the EACC, and several such.
Yeah.
Originally, we had thought that by creating these independent commissions, we would end up with competent men holding those dockets. But it has just ended up in a situation where still the person the executive desires is the one who controls those documents.
Yes.
Maybe it is high time we revisited how we bring these men and women holding these positions so that we get the right people who can discharge the mandate of the offices without looking to the left or to the right. Other than that, and as my brother from the peace sector has said, we may not have to attribute this thing to the left or to the right, to the government or to the opposition. But we must come to the reality that the effect, the impact is hurting mwananchi wa kawaida, other than the leaders. And we may pride ourselves that we have not reached Somalia, that we have not reached the level of South Africa. Remember, just a year ago, South Africa was one of the most stable economies in Africa. Today, as we are talking, it could easily go spiral down. So, and this thing can just one day get out of hand. If you realize how the land clashes started in this country, at some point it was political. In no time it became ethnic. And at some point all communities were being evacuated from where they are. So, whichever the ultimate objective of this Goonism is political, and the objective is that Wanjiku must be disturbed to vote in a certain way that the individual sponsor wants her to vote. Perhaps a question we ask, who stands to benefit from Goonism? As a student of law, one thing I was asked that whenever you are investigating or you want to look at the motive, the question to ask is, who stands to gain by the commission or omission leading to a crime? Then you get right. So when we have Goonism in Kisumu, who stood to gain? When we had it in Nyandarua, who stood to gain? And who was the target? The target is that Wanjiku should vote or not vote in a specific way.
So you are a presidential candidate, aspirant, right?
Yes.
Do you have goons to...
Let me tell you, as Onyango,
do you?
I do not have goons, I have the people. But let me give you a small example, historical examples.
How are you going to intimidate your opponent?
I don't intend to intimidate them. I intend to persuade them through my manifesto, through the issues I stand for, through the issues that I think can overhaul the structure of this country and how we can live into a peaceful, harmonious, economically successful country. in this continent.
You're just becoming,
but other than that,
you're just becoming
when
poetic.
you have talked to Goons, I want to
just,
address
you are
on
just
something.
becoming poetic. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. You're just becoming poetic.
You can intimidate them through his ideas.
I wanted, yes.
Maybe.
I wanted to address you how I ended up having Goons sometimes back.
Oh, okay. Hold that. After this break, stay with us. You tell us how you ended up having some. Okay, let's take a break. We'll break. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. It's now just the tail end of this discussion, and I believe that you have gained something. So, you wanted to say something without getting into details? Now you're a presidential candidate. I asked, do you have people protecting you? I don't want to call them goons or something.
Whether goons or not, we will not help this country if we cannot go to the realities and the truthful foundations about these things.
Yes.
And the Bible tells us the truth shall set you free. So if we want to fight this issue of goonism, we must find out how it starts, how it works. I am a politician. Mwangangi here is a politician. Our two colleagues are in the sector that is rather not so much at the heart of it, but working to ensure it does not happen. And I want to share this small experience I had. At some point in my political life, I was running for a political office in Kisumu town. And it was in ODM, and we were running for an elective position. I was seeking to be the MP for Kisumu East. Everywhere I turned, and that time the MP was a very violent man, and I had thought that I would use the power of persuasion to convince people to vote me, and they were actually joining me in numbers. So what happens? Every corner I turned, goons were beating us and throwing us off board. Every point I went, we were being beaten. So I went and reported to the party that I'm unable to campaign. I'm being beaten, but this guy is so violent against me everywhere. The party leadership told me that is how politics is being played. So I was like left on my own, struggling to find a position. And I was very young. I was not as I am now. So what did I do? I ended up also getting some young men to protect us. And my command to them was always simple. Never provoke violence. Do not fight anybody. But those who come to attack us, please give them twice the dose they have brought. Whoa. So the end result is this the MP then did not know that we were now more prepared than him. And he tries one time. And the crushing violence he met, I think he never repeated it. But do you know what happened? He happened to have also been a relative to the party leader. I was disqualified from running.
Yeah.
For beating someone who had beaten me repeatedly. And that marked the end of my
it seems that
attempt to be the MP.
What you've said is perhaps the end result of what's happening.
It is a vicious thing.
Yeah.
You are in politics, you do it, and you may survive or not survive. Okay. You are not there, you don't do it, you'll be crushed out. The end result is we are building a culture that will come to consume us someday, all of us.
I want to ask you, Mheshimiwa Mwangangi, do you have goods?
Good
just ask an open question. Do you?
Do I have goons?
Yes.
To do what?
To protect you and to protect against your opponents in Machakos.
I can tell you, goons, and my colleagues will agree with me. The only goons in Ukampani are those for Uda men. Because they can't go anywhere without them.
No, even you.
I can't tell you.
What about you?
No. We have the people. We have got no problem. We have no problem. Let me tell you how politics works. Do you know why these goons, I end up with the goons?
Tell me.
Simply because I know I have a problem with the people.
You are unpopular.
Number two, you are very unpopular.
Yes.
Number two, even if I'm attending a funeral,
yes,
I must have those goons and also hire some people so that they can cheer me. Just to create a certain perception.
Yes.
And that is what is happening in your company. For those with the people, you need to walk anywhere and the people are with you. They will even protect you. You try, you'll be told, hey,
the confidence.
Yes.
The confidence you have.
So, in this case, if I were in Nairobi, definitely yes. Yes. It will be, because I know the government is not protecting me. It's protecting those opposing me. So in this case, what I need to do, I have to do, as long as it is right.
Yes.
But if what I'm supposed to do and it is right, it's constitutional, and somebody thinks I should not do it, I must look a way of doing it.
Okay, now that your mic is still on, I have two questions here for you. Yes. Number one is what's on the paper. Another one is another question. What do you make of that? Now, we are just closing the debate. What do you make of that newspaper where the president said that he still has the company with him, even if your party leader doesn't join him?
Okay, the president...
Was it to join him?
No. That is the next president next year. How can he join him? That is the person President Ruto should be preparing to hand over to. Kalonzo is seeking for presidency of Kenya, not to join this administration.
He's not declared. He's not declared.
So what I'm telling you,
at least Onyango has declared.
No,
but Kalonzo has not.
Kalonzo has done it several times. Although you are becoming an UDA sympathizer. He has done it severally. So about president and saying he is not going to abandon the region, it is his constitutional mandate. In fact, I think we should be having a commission to oversee how, for example, in counties, how do we operate there? Are we in compliance with the law in terms of development? Because it is not a question of abandoning. You are a trustee of the public money, and the constitution dictates fairness and ensuring equitable distribution of resources. So it is not a question of abandoning. It is a question of doing what he is supposed to do. Actually, it is his constitutional mandate for him to visit any part of this country.
He's free to do so.
Okay? Even developing this country, every part of this country.
Another question. What do you make of C.S. Ruku being installed as a Kamba elder?
Obviously, he's not.
But he was installed.
By hired fellows to do so.
Come on.
That does not make him one. Let me tell you. If today I sit here, you work in this state broadcaster, Victor Olo.
Yes.
If I declare myself the board chair of the board, KBC, will you say yes? Obviously, you know him. If I declare myself as a CEO of this great organization, will I be the obvious? You know who that person is. So Ruku can do anything that he wants to do just for him to be happy. You know, they have a lot of monies to splash everywhere and do what they want to do. And I can tell you, Kenyans are watching. You will see in the next election, we will have these goons. We will do what we think we are doing to embrace ourselves, to ensure we are popular. We are creating certain perceptions, but Kenyans will do justice, I believe.
I want to do something quite off here today. We have Mheshimiwa Onyango Leo here, who says that he wants to be the president of Kenya, which we still wish you all the best. It's a huge battle. Wakili, do you have a question for him? A quick one. A quick one.
I mean, the one I had already asked and explained himself, but looking forward, he should be able to tell us what kind of country envisions now that he wants to be president. Does he want to get into power with Goonism?
Thank you. Clear question.
Thank you. In fact, from the name of my party, Freedom and Opportunity Party, I will tell you in what kind of country we are looking forward to. But in a sentence, we are looking for a united, prosperous country. That country cannot prosper if that prosperity is to be a serious prosperity with Goonism or with disrespect to the rule of law. We are looking at a country where the rule of law not only forms the bastion of our day-to-day living, but where the agencies of government are independent and are working according to their mandate. We are literally looking at a country where the citizens will stand tall and proud to say I can do my business, I can interact and associate without looking to the left or to the right whether I'm dealing with the right person or not.
Okay. Mheshimiwa Mwangangi, question to him.
Maybe his policy on top of what you have said, his policy on inclusivity and fairness.
Very good.
Thank you. Maybe
he ties that with how is he likely to address the issue of wealth creation, employment and wealth creation, to address the question of unemployed population in this country.
Very good. Policy and unemployment.
Thank you. We had a small earlier discussion here as to what would be entailed in my manifesto. And I had shared informally outside the desk that I would not pretend to be an engineer, to be a medic, to be everything. That once the party is in place, we'll put in our experts so that we come up with the best ways through which we can achieve issues to do with governance, issues to do with infrastructure, issues to do with healthcare, etc., etc. But all that notwithstanding, it is as a leader, it is important that you have the zero draft of where you want to take the people. Number one, the biggest enemy of this country towards inclusivity is what we call tribalism, which over the years we try to run away from. Today, our leaders are fighting to form government, and you can see them desperately looking at making the tribal alliances other than ideas alliances, so that if you have things that are close to the things I have, we could form a coalition. But if your things are diametrically different from what I have, we have no business forming alliances, because definitely we are going to fight at the tail end of forming our government. So as a party, we insist that tribalism is a big enemy that has to be fought. Number two, that corruption has affected us so much. But there's a very simple way to fight corruption, in my view, because we have tried it. We have changed the heads of EACC so repeatedly. From the time it was cast out to date, the same results. Sometimes I think when EACC is being used to launder corruption. My view is, can you please tame the appetite of the ultimate leader on corruption? Once the leader has controlled appetite towards state resources, my brother, the rest will have to toe the line. I'll refer you to the case of Murtala Mohammed. Sorry, not the case, to the instance of Murtala Mohammed as president of Nigeria. Within less than 6 months, there was order in Nigeria because the head was determined that things must change. Things will not start by our citizens. Things start with that leader. For us who come from the lecture, we tell you that fish starts rotting at the head. So it must start with me being held accountable and being committed to the things I'm talking, rather than just being rhetorical and being a good speaker and being a man who can persuade and move crowds. We must elect men of virtue, men of valor, and those men of virtue will be known by their histories. We are not getting men from nowhere.
Very good. Daniel?
Mine is to, of course, wish you well, and I think two questions. One is, if you do not make it, what is your plan? Are you willing to work with other parties or other coalitions, so that you are able to run the next government? Raila Odinga did not join government, but he was able to work jointly with the winning candidate to be able to attract some things being done in the area. So are you willing to also be able to join other persons in future? And also, I know in this country we have people who form parties just so that they can have a seat at the table. Are you using your party to negotiate for a cabinet position in the next government, either with President Ruto or President Kalonzo if he wins, or what is your game plan?
Thank you. Good. That's a very important question. I wish we were in an environment where such questions from my brothers would come up. Number one, I think if the one thing ever undermined democracy in this country, it was this aspect of the opposition losing elections and then they join government at all costs. so that whenever, like ODM you talk, would lose elections and they lost them in draws, they would insist they are in the next government. They would go to the streets. They would go anywhere until they get into that government. That must come to an end if we want to bring a party, if we want to bring our country to some stage. Because we must build an opposition on issues. It cannot be that I can form a coalition with you, tomorrow I form with him, tomorrow I form with the other one, and yet you have diametrical views on issues of governance generally. We must have parties that are on issues, so that if Mr. Mwangangi's party has got issues that correlate with mine,
yes,
and he forms government, I should be willing to say, Bwana Mwangangi, we join coalition, and on the following we agree. On these other dockets, then we get a middle ground. Other than that, I'm not joining your government. It's like asking the far-right party, because the communist far left have formed the government, and for the sake of being in government, in the guise of bringing development to my people, we just join. Then we undermine democracy. I will be willing to join anybody who forms government, so long as his party is espousing issues that are close to our issues. But I will not join government for the sake of being in government. I would rather build my narrative in the opposition up to such a time that I'm able to persuade a majority of Kenyans to elect.
I also have one question, and I know you can answer this in 30 seconds. This one perhaps Mwangangi will be so happy about. What will be your take on devolution? Because the county governments have been crying that they are not getting enough support. In the next financial year, their budgets have been cut from 524 billion shillings. That is the expected amount they wanted. So what is your take on devolution?
A great idea that has been, I think has been betrayed by the implementers on the ground.
Yes.
Devolution was brought so that development could go to our people. Devolution as implemented is a way through which local leaders line up their pockets. I'm not saying all, but at the end, 20 years from the time of devolution, there will be counties that will be so great. There will be counties that people would wonder, where did the money go? Because some people are literally not stealing that money, they're looting it. Some people are putting it to good use. It is a great idea, a wonderful idea that has absolutely been betrayed by the implementers, and we must be bold to take action against them. We must accept that crime has no statute of limitation. And those who stole in the first administration, second administration, whichever administration, as a party, FOP, if we form government, we are coming for you.
Thank you. All right. I think we should end it up there. Don't come for us. We are good citizens. We are good citizens. I think we have to end it there.
By the way, there is a question you asked me, and now that the presidential candidate has addressed it, and you have asked.
We want to go to Kisumu.
Yes, the question of devolution. That is where we need to focus on. As president is trying to tour parts of the country, I know he's facing an election next year. The focus should be actually devolution.
Yes.
Because the current administration is doing everything 100% of what is the mandate of the counties.
I hope something's going to be done, because the drafter of the Constitution actually had a very good idea for the devolution. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being part of the show. I mean, today was just a class moment. We need to stop all this madness. It's not so good, because the gentleman, the old Mzee who was crying for his son in Keumbu, had a very painful tear. That, I mean, he's lost a son because of Goonism and because of politics. And those are just brothers, the people they live with, who clobbered him to death. I mean, we just have to be sober. All right, thank you so much. Honorable Francis Mwangangi, Deputy Governor, Machakos County, asante sana. Gibson Gesore, an advocate of the High Court and a political analyst. Thank you, my brother, for being a part of the show. And Mheshimiwa Nyangolo, we wish you all the best. He is also the party leader and Freedom and Opportunity Party and presidential candidate aspirant 2027. Asante sana. And of course, Daniel Jumamondi, Africa representative, Global Peace Foundation. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, actually, let's go to Kisumu. Simon Achola is on standby.